Hello and welcome to WGNR War Games News Radio, a channel devoted to tabletop gaming in the Wasteland, specifically Fallout Wasteland Warfare by Modiphius. My name's Ryan, and if you're just tuning into this channel, then you are not alone because it's brand spanking new. So to celebrate the launching of WGNR, I'm putting together a series of videos that we're going to call Better Know a Faction. In this first video, we're going to look at possibly the most versatile faction in the entire game, the Survivors. Now, if you're completely new to Wasteland Warfare, I highly recommend you go on over to the Modiphius website. It'll be popping up one of these corners here to check out a few things. There's free downloads of the rules, cards you can use for all the units, information about all the factions. It's really the place where you want to get going. And more importantly than that, you can get your hands on the 2-player starter set. It's really what you're going to want getting into the game. It's going to give you everything you need to get going: rulers, cards, models, the whole 9 yards. Now, you can pick and choose if you want to start building a specific faction first, but I highly recommend that 2-player starter set as it's going to get you some units for 2 factions right out of the gate. Number 1 is going to be the Survivors, which we're going to look at here today, and then the Super Mutants, which we'll take a look at in a follow-up video. Now, if you're already a veteran of the game, then some of this might not be news to you, but it could hopefully be a little more helpful when putting together some of your forces. So we're going to look at some rules, some faction-specific tweaks, hopefully give you a hand when you're putting your units together for the game down the line. So without too much more rambling, let's get to better know our first factions, our band of intrepid wasteland warriors, the Survivors. As mentioned earlier, Survivors might be the most diverse group in the entire game as far as units that you can use to bring with you. It makes you really feel like you're the sole survivor or the lone wanderer or the chosen one, putting together your group of companions. Now, nearly every faction of the game gives you some pretty cool bonuses if you put your faction together correctly. Now, correctly is a bit of a term, dealer's choice. There's no real wrong way to do a force in Fallout Wasteland Warfare, but there are a couple ways that you can take advantage of a unit's special rules, or specifically a faction's special rules, to make things a little bit better for you and a little bit tougher for your opponent. Now, to take advantage of a faction bonus, your force is going to have to be equipped with the proper leader. In this case, you're going to want any unit that has the Survivors keyword on its card. By choosing a Survivor as your leader, any unique Survivor unit, which has the little Vault Boy icon on the top of its card, is going to get a single strong armor token free of charge, just for being in that force. So what does that mean? Well, strong armor is normally reserved for big bad units of power armor or nasty boss level creatures like Deathclaws or Mirelord Queens. Now, when a unit has a strong armor bonus, any damage it takes is reduced by 1 regardless of what hits you and for how much damage. However, once that unit takes a point of damage or has used its strong armor token for the first time, it is then removed from the unit and its rating goes back to whatever is normally printed on its card. So that's going to make some tough units even tougher down the line and really increase their survivability or their ability to hold objectives as the bullets really start to fly. Or the lasers or grenades or whatever you're using as ammunition. Junk jet, anyone? Now, keep in mind that no matter how many strong armor tokens you have or how much power armor you have strapped on your back, you can only take advantage of a +1 strong armor bonus once per hit or once per armor roll. So even if you have power armor on and a unique unit, you're actually only ever going to stop 1 damage at a time. Now, something to keep in mind when you're putting your force together is that only units with that Survivor keyword are actually going to be able to benefit from the leader's Survivor keyword. So even if you have a mismatched force with some Brotherhood units, some Survivor units, heck, some Institute units as we go down the road, your Survivors will still get that strong armor bonus if they're unique, but any other units from any other faction sadly won't get to benefit. Preston Garvey and Ronnie Shaw are the two exceptions to this, as they actually have both the Minuteman and Survivor faction keywords on their card. Well, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, and maybe gave you some info before you go ahead and expand your Survivor force. And hopefully it helped you better know a faction. In the next video in this series, we're going to keep on the theme of the two-player starter set, and we're going to take a look at everyone's favorite forced evolutionary monstrosities, the Super Mutants. Stay tuned. WGNR will be back.